Jai Ramakrishna. Om. My sincerest pranams and heartfelt regards to the lotus feet of Holy Trinities. A very good morning, revered Srimad Swami Vimokshananda Maharaji and ladies and gentlemen, loving kids, executive members of Modak Trainer Academy, and those who are joining with revered Maharaji. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the holy session as we gather here to welcome Srimad Swami Vimokshananda ji to this renowned organization. We are going to start this valuable session with the holy Vedic chanting. So I will request to little trainer and Angel Preeti Lee Modak, Modak Trainer Academy's youngest trainer. Thank you, Preeti Lee. Please, you start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Now, I'm going to start. My Vedic chanting is Medha Suktam. Om Yashchandasaam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamritat Sambabhuva Samendro Medhaya Sprinotu Amritasya Devadharano Bhuyasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jihva Me Madhumattama कर्णाभ्यां भूरिभिः शुभं ब्रह्मणः मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मेधा देवी जुषमाना नागादिष्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रौ विन्दते वसुसानो जुसस्वद्रविनो न मेधे मेधाम इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना बुभावा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु चया मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवी मेधा सरस्वती सामा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषता स्वाहा आमां मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगते जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सामां मेधा सुप्रतीका जुषन्तां मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयीन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधा मयि प्रजा मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात् ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Preeti Lee. A great Vedic chanting.
Thank you.
Please unmute your video.
Okay. Preeti Lee, thank you for your sweet voice and correct pronunciation. Now I will introduce Srimad Swami Vimokshananda ji with you all. But I will request to Mr. Modak, CEO of Modak Trainer Academy. Please, you brief your Academy. Please, Mr. Modak.
75.
I can't see the flyer now, so I
Just a
am
minute.
requesting you.
Okay. Uh, Pranam Maharaj ji.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Meena madam. Inside of our Modak Trainer Academy, we are doing a creative thing. This program is all about our neuro-linguistic program, law of attraction, creative visualization, regarding subconscious mind, body-mind connection that is related to healing therapy, relationship management, parenting, students' mind power also, mindful therapy, health and nutrition, as well as there is some certificate course, train the trainers, which is about mind power, how you can create your life extraordinary from ordinary, and also Bhagavad Gita certificate course, Vedic chanting course, young speakers webinar. That's why some young boys and girls, they can be also a good speaker, as well as our guest speaker webinars, national, international. There is many topics all over the world. So these all are our academy's activity. So thank you very much, Meena madam. Now continue.
Thank you, Mr. Modak. Now I will introduce Srimad Swami Vimokshananda ji with you all.
Madam,
Swamiji is
please
a
carry on.
renowned
Okay.
Swamiji is a renowned spiritual leader, teacher, and philosopher who has dedicated his life to spreading the message of peace, wisdom, compassion to people all over the world. Swamiji is a beacon of light who has inspired millions of people to live a meaningful life and attain spiritual enlightenment. As we know that Swami Viveksananda ji is a senior monk of the worldwide Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission based in India. He was initiated early into spiritual life by Swami Nirvanananda ji Maharaj in 1971. He took his monastic vows in 1981 from Swami Viveksananda ji Maharaj. During his monastic training days, he worked extensively in the cyclone affected areas of Andhra Pradesh. Different centers from 1979 to 1986, he assisted his building of a new Ramakrishna Mission Hospital in Arunachal Pradesh. Swami Vimokshananda ji has held various leadership positions in the Ramakrishna Mission centers such as the Alang High School, the Kolkata Mission Hospital. He was instrumental in uh, reviving the 150 bedded TB sanatorium in a tribal region of North India. In abroad, from 2007 to 2014, he was the president of the Ramakrishna Mission Center of South Africa. From 2015 to 2018, Maharajji was the president of Singapore Ramakrishna Mission. He was the minister in charge of the Ayur Vedanta Society in Dublin, Ireland, the birth country of Sister Nivedita Margaret Elizabeth Noel from 2018 to 2021. Currently, he is Adhyaksha of Ramakrishna Math at Elagiri Hills in Tamil Nadu. Swamiji regularly conducts scriptural classes on Gita, Upanishad, and Puranas and delivers discourses of the spiritual ideas of Sri Ramakrishna Holy Mother, Sri Sharada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. He is deeply interested in teaching how Vedanta can be applied to today, the resolve the tensions and problems faced by the modern man. He travels extensively. He is eager to meet genuine spiritual seekers and offer them spiritual counseling. A multilinguistic, Swamiji speaks fluently in Tamil, Hindi, Bengali, and English. His knowledge and insights are invaluable, and we are fortunate to have him here to share his sound wisdom with us. We extend a warm welcome to Swami Vimokshananda ji Maharaj. Your presence here today is a blessing, and we are grateful for the opportunity to hear your kind words of wisdom. Thank you all for being a part of this special session, and we hope
ঘুমোয়
an enjoyable evening.
এমন কিছু
Thank
না,
you.
একটু দেখা
Maharajji,
দিও না, নিচে দূরে থেকো।
please, you
পরে
can continue now.
ওদের মেয়ে করলো একটা
Maharajji,
চ্যান্টিং, ভালোই করলো। তোমার ঘুম হয়েছে? এনজয় করেছো?
Please mute your audio.
চান করবে না এখন?
Please
Maharajji,
mute your audio, please.
Maharajji, pranam, Maharajji.
Namaskar.
Now you can continue, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. As usual, let me begin my talk with my pranams to my Gurudev. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Harihi Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. So, dear friends, devotees, and my children, rather only one child is here today. Very beautiful name, Preeti Lee. I am so happy to listen to Preeti Lee's Vedic chanting today. You know, in the young age itself, she has been trained so much. And I hear that she knows Bhagavad Gita by heart. That's a wonderful thing, that in this small age, she could learn, and with her beautiful voice, soothing voice, she chanted the Medha Suktam. See, whenever we think of Medha Suktam, we think of that great goddess, deity, Mother Saraswati. Saraswati is our very dearest goddess. You all know that. Particularly during the Saraswati Puja. I was in Calcutta for 6 years. And during the Saraswati Puja time, I have seen the small children, even 5-year, 6-year-old girls, are given yellow sari. And with that yellow sari, they come to the ashram and make pranam to us. So I used to wonder what a culture it is. We have not, in South India, this culture is not there. But Saraswati Puja is there, but it comes out in different formats in different states. But this Bengali state, that Bengal state where I saw this beautiful custom, that is wonderful. And Saraswati, we are taught from childhood days one great mantra of Saraswati. That mantra is only 2 lines. Most of you who are from south must be knowing that mantra. It's very easy. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. How beautifully it is said, you see, that Vidyarambham Karishyami. I am going to start my beginning, my Vidya Arambham. What is this Vidya Arambham? The beginning of study. So, this Vidya, I am going to start now. I am going to learn. For that, I require your blessings to get success all the time. Sada, all the time. I require success. Hey Saraswati, oh Mother, Saraswati, Namastubhyam, I bow down to you. Like that, we pray. So anything that you learn, for learning, the divine kataksham, divine kripa is also necessary. Wherever you find learning without the divine touch, that learning remains only in paper. It doesn't get translated into life. Wherever the divine touch comes, that's why in our Upanishads, I may be little academic here because this is an academy and members of the academy are also present here. So I may be little academic here, at least for 3 minutes, because in Upanishads we find that our knowledge is divided into two parts. That is, two categories they make it. So what is the word for knowledge that is used in Sanskrit? In Sanskrit, we use the word vidya. Vidya is the term used for knowledge. Or sometimes we translate in English as learning also. Learning means is accumulation of vidya. So this vidya is coming from the Sanskrit root word with, to know. With, to know. This with means to know. If you make it, say, bring it as a noun, then the word becomes knowledge. So from to know, we get that idea, knowledge. Now this knowledge portion is categorized into two forms. What is that? One knowledge is called apara vidya and another knowledge is called para vidya. So this tatra apara, it starts like that in Mundaka Upanishad. If you see that Rishi defines what is vidya, and he says there is apara vidya category, there is a para vidya category. Some, all these Upanishads are mantras. They are bound to be interpreted by different people from different backgrounds. So when you read these para and apara vidyas in the internet, you'll find different interpretations will come. I will take generally the line taken by Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda, because it is more universal and it is more harmonizing effect is there in their ideas. So I take their line of thinking. So here what is the first thing, the interpretation came, para and apara vidya are differentiated by hierarchy and by content. There are two things are there. One is hierarchy, another is content. What is this hierarchy? Hierarchy means apara vidya is considered as a lower step. Para vidya is considered as a higher step. This is called hierarchy. Now, the whole vidya, the knowledge portion of the humankind, the entire knowledge, the Vedas, can be divided into two parts. One is Paravidya, another is Aparavidya. Aparavidya is a lower step and Paravidya a higher step. Like that they divide it according to hierarchy. Now, some people divide this according to the contents. Contents what? Contents is this Aparavidya contains everything else. That is the material sciences as we call it now. So the science will be there, mathematics, geography, history, language, grammar, and technical subjects, and everything that comes under Aparavidya. Then the Paravidya is none of these. According to the content theory, the Paravidya is solely projected as the knowledge of God. So knowledge of God and knowledge of other sciences. So the science of God is considered as the highest, and other other knowledge streams are considered the lowest. So this hierarchy and content, you find the difference. But there were some people like Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. They put a bridge between these two. This is a modern concept of looking at Paravidya and Aparavidya. So they say this Aparavidya and Paravidya can be bridged together, and one can be a step for another. Not necessarily one has to be rejected for learning another thing. So you don't need to reject anything. The entire Vidya can be kept up as it is. We can read all the sciences and we become all modern technology also we can read and we can become expert. It doesn't matter. And it can be combined with the search for the truth, which is called Paravidya, the knowledge. So the knowledge about God also can be combined with these, that is bridging these two in Ramakrishna way. So what Ramakrishna says, Javat Pachi Tavat Shiki, he says. As long as I live, do I learn, he says. So long he lives, that means as long as he lives, if he lives for 50 years, he will be learning. If he lives for 90 years, he will be learning. Unfortunately, Sri Ramakrishna left his body at the age of 50. We all know that. And less than that, in 39 years, Swami Vivekananda left his body. Mother, of course, stayed for many years, more than that. But so as long as you live, you start learning. So today's topic, it is something like a confusing topic, I should say. What is the topic? Learn to live or living to learn. Now, why it is confusing? It is not immediately, is it clear to any of you? Is this topic very clear or is it confusing? So I felt also that the topic is little confusing. Why? It is showing two categories of knowledge portion. One as learning to live. Why we are learning? Why you are getting Vidya? For accumulation of Vidya purpose is to learn, to live. That is one category. Another category, or is given, OR. So or is given, and then it says living to learn. In childhood times, the elders in the house, they used to ask, so whether you are eating to live or living to eat. If you are really gluttonous, that means you are greedy about eating things. If you are given one rasgulla, you may say, give me another 2 rasgullas from the pot. So you are greedy to eat. So gluttonous, we call it. So if you are being gluttonous, then what happens? You are living to eat or eating to live. That question comes. In childhood days, they used to say, oh, you should only eat to live. You are not living for eating. No, that is very bad. They will say that. So like that, here there are two categories are made by this topic. Whether learn to live or living to learn. Which one we should choose? As if that is the question people will be thinking. But that is not the question. We are not asking you to ask this question or answer this question, whether one has to learn to live or one has to live to learn. This question is not posed to any one of you. Only the question is posed by the speaker, and the speaker will have to answer that. So how does he approach the subject? It is not neither nor or either or. No, not that division. So as I told you, it was Sri Ramakrishna's beautiful way of harmonizing things, that a bridge has been made to remove the gap of hierarchy and content. As I told you in the beginning, there are 2 things or 3 things are there of approaching the subject. So the hierarchy system, content system, and the bridge system. So I take up the bridge system as the most convenient for me to make it understanding that what is living and what is learning. These 2 things we must know. That is what I would like to ask you also. And as I tell you in all my speeches, and for the first time, the Modak Trainer Academy has requested me. So I am in their campus now, this universal campus. I am in their campus now. So I would tell all of you, it is not a lecture or it is not a discourse that I'm giving to you. It is a discussion with all of you. I would welcome any time you would like to raise your hand, you are free to raise. I will not say no. You can put question, you can give your comment, or if you want to say some other opinion, you can definitely give. We can discuss. That is what we are going to do. So today we are here to discuss this topic, what is learning and what is living. So from the audience, who is going to be the first person? If none comes up on own, then I will pick and choose them. Okay, if none is coming out, so let me call first from Dublin, Malavika. Is she there?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. So the difference between living to learn and learning to live, how do you understand this? Was it confusing to you?
Initially, I actually thought that it was kind of either or, and I thought that like should one choose learn to live or living to learn? Because learn to live to me meant that something that would be kind of a breadwinning learning, or the other way to put it from the Bible, as Jesus said, that should man be living on bread alone, like whatever to our daily day-to-day materialistic life, worldly life we require, that we should gather knowledge so that we can be proficient in acquiring those things. But then living to learn is what you just said an erstwhile, that it always reminds that Thakur's famous sentence, Jabot Bachi Tabot Shikhi. And interestingly, the concept of lifelong learning is also becoming very, very popular. I happen to be in academics, and I see our course curriculum, our student intake. Like previously, when I was brought up, it was a more conservative admission that after certain age you cannot study certain things. Say, for example, we all had to appear in our some kind of competitive exams after class 12, and only if you maybe if somebody wanted to study medicine or engineering, it was the only route to study those subjects. And the world was also not that global, so it was not a viable option for most of the people to go to other places and learn. And internet was also not there, so that this global connection was not there. But with time, so many things in the world, and it became more progressive, more connected. And and also the concept that we can learn at any age has become more popular. At present, I am in Dublin. At least here in the European Academy, I see that we get two kinds of students. One who are, say, for example, after higher secondary studying, coming to university, college to study. And then there are quite a chunky number of students who are called mature student. So for whatever reason, they couldn't continue the straight academic path, but they had a desire to learn. So they come back to the university, and based on prior knowledge, they get suitable admission, and they are very sincere, and they get to fulfill their desire to learn. So these two are the concepts I thought, and then I'm really curious to know from Shamiji today that how he puts the bridge together towards the supreme knowledge. And he just said that the ultimate purpose is to search for God. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Thank you, Malavik. That's a very good explanation you said. And in the modern times, for learning, there is no end, you say. The end has not been seen. We are still learning, and it echoes, the modern knowledge echoes Ramakrishna's word that you quoted, Javad Bachi Tavashiki, that if Ramakrishna were to live for 90 years, he would be still learning. That is what he meant. So the learning continues and continues and continues, never ending. Now this Vidya, is it Paravidya or Aparavidya? That the content part comes there. So our scriptures are the only boldest scriptures in the world to declare that even the Vedas as Aparavidya. So the Mundaka Upanishad, how it speaks, you see, Tatra Apara. Tatra Apara, there. Apara Vidyas are there. What are those Apara Vidya? It says Rig Vedo, Yajur Vedaha, Sama Vedaha. Then he says Atharva Veda. All the 4 Vedas are Apara Vidyas. And then it says Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandam, Jyotish, everything, these are all Apara. Then what is Paravidya? Paravidya is Atha Para. This is Paravidya. Yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. A beautiful word is used. Tat aksharam, tat padam. These are the words we use for the supreme. So tat aksharam. Aksharam is that which cannot be brought into smaller parts. Kshara. Kshara means deterioration. Aksharam is non-deteriorating, non-destroyable. Which is non-destroyable, indestructible, as we use that word. Which is indestructible? Only the Atman. So Atman is indestructible. In Bhakti Yoga, we call it God. So the God is indestructible, and Yaya, by which Tad Aksharam, that indestructible is Adhigamyate, is understood, experienced. So this Adhigamyate is a very beautiful word. It says by which one experiences the highest Aksharam, which is not possible to destroy. Rest of the things in this universe, they are all changeable. Moment to moment, they are changing. In our own life, we were being born as a babies, and then we became young, and then we became older, and now we have become much older. And this change, and then one day we will leave the body. So this change is continuously happening. There is something unchangeable. That unchangeable is called, in the cosmic sense, the word used by our Vedanta is called Brahman. And in the individual usage, you can use it as a God. No problem. So this God or Atman, if you are a Jnana Yogi, you will use the term Atman. If you are a Bhakti Yogi, you will use the term Bhagavan. So this Bhagavan or God is that indestructible. By experiencing that, not even merely knowing, you can read Shastras. Yes, many of the Shastras you can read. The commentary given by Adi Shankara for this verse in Mundaka Upanishad is the 5th verse. Okay, in this he says that Kanda 1, part 1, 5th verse. That Shankaracharya's commentary you must read. He says there are people who are particularly emphasizing on the words of the Upanishads, of the scriptures about God. Merely knowing about God in words is not enough, he says. That's why the word used by the rishis in the Upanishad is called Adhigamyate. It's a very important word. Adi plus gam root. That is to reach. So reaching. So what Sri Ramakrishna says for us? He says the aim of life is to realize God. The life goes in vain if the life is not tried for reaching God. So that's why that we find that how Sri Ramakrishna is going to preach this Aparavidya and Paravidya as Basu asked. So the thing is, Aparavidya contains all those that are needed for our living. That's why that has been classified and connected with the breadwinning education, as Sri Ramakrishna used to make. When Sri Ramakrishna's brother, elder brother Ram Kumar, he started a toll, a Sanskrit Vidyalaya, and he started in Calcutta. He brought his brother Ramakrishna there, and he told Ramakrishna, hey, why don't you study also? You study, and then go to different houses so that you can do some puja. Then when you go and do puja in the houses, what you will get as a compensation? They will give you some rice and they will give you some plantains. So he beautifully put it that chal kola banda oi vidya ami chaina. I do not want the bundle of rice and plantains. That is bananas. I don't want that vidya. Because that is what Ram Kumar is insisting. Ram Kumar was worried, after me, because their age difference was much. As a younger elder brother, he says he thought that if I die, then how this boy is going to keep himself alive? He has to do some job. He has to get some money. He thought Ramakrishna like all other boys in this world. That's what happens when Avatara Purusha comes into your family. Everybody in the family consider him not as Avatara Purusha, but as an ordinary child like any other child. We see that on 3-day time, 3 days only Krishna was born, and then Putana comes. She converts herself as a beautiful woman, and she comes and tells Yashoda, hey Yashoda, I have come from a different country. I heard about your son who is so handsome and wonderful. I want to see him and give him milk. Can you give that? So immediately Yashoda was very happy because she was praising the son's beauty. So immediately she took the baby and handed it over to Putana. And Putana gave her milk. At that time, he sucked her milk, not only milk, he took that poison that she brought, that also he cleared. So she fell down and she became a devata. She got up and went away. Now, none of these things were known to the others. When Yashoda, just like that, she came out from a bagan side, she looked at and she saw one big Rakshasi was lying there. Huge body it is. And over her stomach, this small baby is just, making his hands like that. And he may even fall down. So that was the situation when Yashoda rushes there and takes the baby into her hand. This Rakshasi has come. So she calls the Pandits, the Pujari of the local temples, and she says, look, somebody has put a bad spell on my son. Please remove that, do some puja. So they did puja, etc. And that. But you see, she didn't know that 3-year-old boy is not like an ordinary boy. He has come to kill the asuras and give them moksha. That is for which only he has come, to establish dharma. That is not known. In the same way in Ramakrishna's story also we find his brother and his mother also. When Ramakrishna went to Visalakshi temple and then came back after semi-conscious he became, and then his mother is telling, no, somebody has put a black eye on him. Let us take him to the temple and get the puja done. So this is how they feel. They don't understand who is this Paramahansa. So that's what happened. So when Sri Ramakrishna says, at that young age, 17 years only, 17-year-old boy is telling his brother, I don't want this Chal Kola Banda Vidya. So how he is going to take care of his living? Later, when the brother will go away and mother would pass away and no house is there for him, if he gets married, then how is he going to sustain the family? So sustenance of family depends upon the money that you receive. The money that you receive depends upon the learning that you acquire in Aparavidya. So Aparavidya is not to be rejected wholesale. No. The Aparavidya has got a particular purpose. But will this Aparavidya take you to Paravidya unless you combine the devotion in your life, the belief in supreme God, the belief in supreme force, supreme power, unless you believe that, this bridging cannot be done. So what happens in Aparavidya, you can become a very great scientist, still if you are a Nastika only, because you don't believe in the existence of a superpower. Then what happens if you are a Nastika? Then there are many questions that assail you. Those questions you cannot answer. Simple question I ask you, that if there is no God, naturally what you understand is the whole thing has become natural. Naturally we are all born. Why one is born in a rich family and why one is born in a poor family? If you don't believe in God, how are you going to answer this question? So Swami Vivekananda says, you must have the law of karma created by God. Law of karma is not something on its own it is moving or it is operating. The law of karma does not operate on its own. It has got an adhisthana devata, and that is God. If you reject that, then the law of karma cannot operate. Then if it doesn't operate, you cannot answer these philosophical questions. So that is why that the learning has to be taken, this learning has to be taken as an aid for a higher learning. Now, nowhere it is said in our scriptures that by learning, by acquiring the knowledge of God, you get Paravidya and you get freedom. But it doesn't mean that Aparavidya sciences should not be learned. If that is so, in our ancient India, so many new things have been found out. Even in Qutub Minar in Delhi, if you go there, the iron metal that is there lying for hundreds of years is not yet rusted. How this metallurgy was so improved in those days? And who found out the digit 0 to the world? Likewise, in every field of science, including the Panjika. Next year, Panjika says which day, which time the Surya Grahan will come. How do they calculate? So, all these sciences were with us. Now we are also getting into those sciences. We are trying to popularize those sciences. Now, all those sciences are called Aparavidya and should not be considered as lower than Para. Otherwise, how Sri Ramakrishna also used these Aparavidyas. One of the Aparavidyas, I tell you, very interesting. Sri Ramakrishna learnt it. What was that Vidya? No? It is called Samudrika Lakshanam. A Vidya is there, Samudrika Lakshanam. That means the features of a person. From the features of a person, one can conclude what is his mental nature. So you can say, by seeing a person, he is very, very conjuice. He won't spend any money. Someone you see, and you can immediately find out from the features that he is very dayalu, he is very charitable, he is very dani. All these features, gunas, can be expressed in the physical body. So whatever physical bodies times the rulings are there, you just go there and find out how a person's nature is represented by the form of that physical body. So this is called Samudrika Vidya. And this Samudrika Vidya was learned by Sri Ramakrishna young age. And he says, I know Samudrika Vidya, he says. And he could know. Easily, he says, any person who comes before me. But he had a spiritual knowledge also by which he utilized that to understand much more deeper than what is known from externally. So he used to say, any person coming before me, I know his inside out. That means I know is present and past and then future. So many people he has already told their past, and many people he has thought about the future also. In the life we find, there are many examples in Ramakrishna's life. So this learning, this aparavidya is not to be treated as something that is to be rejected. No. Paravidya is not to be taken single-handedly, minusing this aparavidya. That's why Swamiji says, let us borrow technology from the West and let us give them our Eastern spiritual knowledge to them. What are you going to give for what you are taking from them? If you take technology from the West, you must give back something. He says, we are not beggars. We will always say, oh West, please give me that. No, we are not beggars. We are standing in that position. If we take something from them, we will be able to give them back something. And that is the spiritual knowledge which is not available anywhere in the world. We can easily say that. This spiritual knowledge is very unique spiritual knowledge that we are accustomed with, that we are born with, I should say. For instance, one idea of the soul word you have heard. I'm telling you about this, why the soul is interpreted in other religions. And one religion says Jaina and Buddha, they don't believe in the soul at all. Finished. Okay. And the Abrahamic religions, they believe in a soul other than the body. But among the Hindus, we believe in the soul other than the body. And what is that soul? Which is something which is akin to the Lord, which is akin to the Bhagavan, or akin to the divine force. That also we know. So the Abrahamic religions have found out the body is not the end of all. See, these are all due to a lot of research done by great men in their countries. In our country, our research went much more deeper, which could not be done in the Western countries. So there was a stratification. There was a standard where you come and stop. And that is what the other religions stopped there. What they stopped? There is a soul within the body that comes out when the body dies, and then the soul remains in the place where the body is put. How long it stays there? It stays there forever. Is it forever? No. So they found out there is a day of last day of judgment. On that day, the divinity will call forth the soul, and the soul will go to him at that time and be understood that whether he has done good things in the earth or bad things on the earth. If he has done bad things on the earth, he will be punished. He will go to hell. If he has done good things in the earth, he will go to heaven and enjoy his life forever. There, the stratification has come. It has stopped. Further, they did not go into that aspect of soul. But in India, our great rishis have gone beyond that stage. They also believed there is some soul in the body which comes out when the body goes out. But the soul is not stopping anywhere. It moves on. That's why when we Hindus reply to any death message, we do not say R.I.P. Rest in peace, we do not say. We say, let the onward journey be on. Because the journey is not completed. The journey is completed only when a person gets moksha, liberation, or enlightenment. From the language of learning, the word used is enlightenment. Unless you get enlightenment, your journey continues in whatever body. So the body, the Sukshma body is called soul, and that has got a Karana body also, Karana Shari. So likewise, you see, I'm telling you as an example, how much deeper our scientists, our rishis were scientists, none but other than the scientists, I tell you. They had physical science also and spiritual science also. So in spiritual science, they experienced all these things. That's why they could give us this knowledge. So this knowledge, Vidya, is to be bridged from the apara vidya to paravidya. So when you go into mathematics, when you go into higher mathematics, you are really surprised. We have a Swami in our order who has done PhD in mathematics. And he said, I can prove the existence of God mathematically, he said. So that was very interesting. Of course, I don't know 1, 2, 3 of the mathematics or ABC of the mathematics. But then when he said it was very amusing to me. You see, you could prove God's existence mathematically, he said. So likewise, you can prove God's existence chemically. If you are a chemistry professor, you should be able to prove God by chemical means. Can you go into the body's molecule level, and can you make experiments at the molecule level of the body, how the chemicals interact with the cells in the molecule? So those things are wonderful. You do not know at all. We do not know because we are not studying that. Nowadays only the studies of DNA and this DNA technology has come up in many laboratories. Many science I have discussed with the one DNA specialist in Seva Pratishthan where I was posted. My job was to look after the staff, that is from doctor to sweepers. But then along with that, all the doctors, some doctor specialists would come. I would ask these questions to them. So what is DNA? So the DNA specialist used to explain that, Maharaj, our experiments have gone so far that sometimes I feel it may touch the divinity which you all speak about in religious language. So we speak about divinity, however, our language is couched in religious terms. And scientists, they give the language, their language is scientific, technological language. So with that they speak. Otherwise, can you imagine Newton? He says, I am standing on the shore of the knowledge of ocean. And whatever I know so far are like pebbles in my hand. So if you go to a seashore and take a 5, 6 pebbles in your hand, how much you can hold it? Hand only. So in Tamil, there is a proverb by one great lady, Kattrathu kaiyalavu, kallathathu ulagalavu. She says, what you have learned is only this much in your palm. You can put it. What you have not learned is as big as like the world. So how much you will learn? So the learning to live is okay. It will give you money, etc., and you have a comfortable life, okay. But then learning and learning, you come to a place and stop there and see what I am going to achieve further. So if you are a believer in God, then that is the bridge that comes between the aparavidya and paravidya. Without the belief in God, if you learn and learn, we have 2 guests, one couple have come to Yelagiri Hills. I'm happy to introduce to you, and Mr. Hendrik and his wife. And Mr. Hendrik is a professor. 42 years he is teaching line. And he is still, at the age of 75, he is still doing research and associated with 3 universities. And he has come, I am having very good discussion with him on many matters. So you see, this education, he is from Rio de Janeiro, from Brazil. So he is Brazil scientist, you can say, in knowledge. And he is doing research. Who does research? Scientist only does research. So that is what he does in the language, in the knowledge portion. So he says he has got belief in God. So it is easy for him to transform from one step to another step. So the hierarchical division of vidya, of knowledge, into para and apara is not wrong. I would not say it is wrong. But there you should not stop and categorize them into 2 and then neglect either one. No. Along with this, another should be taken. Along with the other, this should be taken. That's why Swamiji's concept of organizing a Vedic college in Belur Math, you must understand the last day of Swamiji's renouncing this body on 1902, on 4th July, 2 days before, he was walking in the Belur Math and he was talking to his brother disciples. And he's telling, Baburam, I have a dream that we should have a Vedic college. The Vedic college will not only teach the Vedic sciences, but also this Aparavidya. So today we have a Vedic college in our campus in Belur Math, and there the secular education, as we call it now, that is the new term that we use after the independence, that secular knowledge also is supplied along with the Vedic knowledge. I'm so happy to participate in this Modak Trainer Academy's program, because they are doing that. There are many academies are there. If you Google academy, in Google, then you will get hundreds of academies are there. And most of the academies are limiting to Aparavidya only. If you're English academy, then you only teach English language. If you are a, say, science academy, then you teach only the science subjects. But this academy is not like that. This academy mainly concerns about the mind and its working. That is what Mr. Modakji was explaining. I'm so happy to be on this place. And so this is what my conclusion. Thus, the Vidya, which can be divided into para and apara, it should not be treated strictly compartmentally. Rather, there should be a particular way of approaching this, bridging this. And that is Ramakrishna Swamiji's way of bridging this, is what I find it very interesting. Of course, this is a thought level only. I'm not asking you to believe or anything. Just think it over. What do you think? We have some more time. I think I should request the participation of our audience. Anyone is interested to speak, then please raise your hand. Yes, Nalini. First, raise your hand. Thank you, the opportunity.
Swamiji, you told that Vedas and Upanishads are also come under Aparavidya. Vedas and Upanishads are we are going to know about in Vedas and Upanishads about Brahman or God. Then how can it be come under Aparavidya?
Very good. Thank you, Nalini. Of course, the first statement, yours, I did not say this. I quoted Mundaka. Mundaka Upanishad itself says, that is a bit of the Hinduism, that can say, my need not be believed. No other religion, every religion will say, our scripture is supreme. But Hindu scripture says, you don't need to believe. So Mundaka Upanishad says, Tatra Aparavidya. What are the Aparavidyas? All these. So that's why in your question was already thought of by Adi Shankara when he wrote the commentary. I will send you after the class, I will send you the English translation of the commentary, what Adi Shankara wrote. And he says, I'm reading it that for your purpose. He says, it may be asked how the Vidya could be called the para, which is helping for freedom. Your question is same. After putting this question, such Vidya be established by the Viveda itself, then it becomes unacceptable. He says, then he says, reply, because if they are included in the Rigveda, a separate classification is you don't need to classify. How then can it be called a Vidya if you remove Upanishads? The objection, Shankara directly thanks you. You have brought an objection. This objection shows. What is that? By the term is here the knowledge and the words representing knowledge Anubhava. Anubhava is different what you read in the book. So he says, how beautifully he says, Paravidya is primarily meant in the understanding of knowledge of a subject and not through assemblage of words. He uses the word. Mere assemblage of words about Brahman does not make you a realization of Brahman. So realization of Brahman is what Paravidya. And assemblage of words. Suppose today this Prithiri very beautifully chanted, and if she becomes expert in chanting, yes, she chants all the words. So the assemblage of words are that, but this is not Paravidya. So the chanting is an art, and that art comes under Aparavidya. Is it clear, Nalli? Is it clear?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
Words are not just
Yes,
a word.
Juma has said that.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
মহারাজ
Pranam.
মহারাজ প্রণাম নেবেন, আমি ছবি বলছি নিউ জার্সি থেকে।
এক সেকেন্ড এটা জুমাটা শেষ হয়ে যাক, তারপর তোমার কাছে আসি।
Acha. Pranam Maharaj. I had one question which, as you were telling, as you so beautifully explained the bridge, the concept of bridge between the para and the apara vidya. But one question just kept haunting me was, I think it's in the Prashna Upanishad, the disciple asks, I might be wrong, that knowing what, you don't need to know anything else. So is that knowledge transcending the para and the apara vidya?
Very beautiful question. Thank you. Is also, see, it is this para and apara. Apara vidya is only that vidya that experience adhigamyate. So experience of knowledge of Brahman is apara vidya. Okay. Now, what in that Upanishad says? What was your question?
My question was, there is, we often hear you all say that knowing what, that question was knowing what, you will know everything in the world. You do not need to know anything else.
So that includes para and apara. That's what you are asking.
Yes, is this transcending? Yes, yes, right.
Or transcending both. No, it's not right. Both. There is no question of transcending the Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, if you know, you have known everything. Because ultimately in every subject, you have to bring it to its original core element. If you think, say, chemistry, you have to go to the basic 5 elements of the chemistry. You have to go to the basics of mathematics, if you go to that core level of the knowledge of the subject, that will release that Brahma Vidya. And Brahma Vidya, one person who has known, he knows everything. So what is this universe? How this universe was projected by one supreme power? All these things he knows. So if I know how the universe was projected, is it necessary for me to know how the rocks have taken place? I don't need to know. I have gone to the source. The source I know. That means if I can project that source from everything, I can definitely come to know. Otherwise, how do you explain? I'm telling to Prithili. Prithili must have heard about Swami Vimokshananda, definitely. And have you not heard of his name? Unmute. Answer me. Have you heard of Swami Vimokshananda?
Yes.
That is what I wanted. Correct. Now you are mute. Yes. So you have heard about Swami Vimokshananda. When he was in Meerut, he used to go to a library and take a book and come back where he was staying. And next day he will go and return. And he will ask the librarian, give me another big book like that. So many books he used to read every day. So the librarian got very much irritated. He said, nobody can read such a big book in one day. But this Swami comes and takes. So he told him, Acha, Mr. Swami, what is the matter? You simply take the book from the library and then bring it back. What is the meaning? Then Swamiji sat before him and said, Mr. Librarian, I have given you this book today. yesterday read the book. You open any page and ask me any question. So the librarian opened a random page and asked Swami Vivekananda, in this page, what is said? And Swamiji told the first line and the last line. He said, what is talked there, he told. Like that, is several questions he put on several pages. That means you can see how much memory power that Swami had. So learning has got so many branches. It's not merely subject, but Paravidya is the experience of what you study. That is called Paravidya. If you know that fire will burn your fingers, that is Aparavidya. If you have burnt your finger, this is Paravidya.
Okay, so this is another definition of Paravidya, that the realization of the knowledge that you have is the
Yes.
Paravidya. Okay,
Paravidya.
thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yes, next, Shefali Das wants to talk to us. Shefali Das is from New Jersey. Yes, Shefali Di, I call her Shefali. Shefali wants to say something, and her time is 2 o'clock night. Night 2 o'clock.
মহারাজ আমি ছবি বলছি, আমি কালকেই হসপিটাল থেকে ফিরেছি। আপনার চিঠিটা পেয়ে দেখতে ইচ্ছে করলো, তাই আপনার কথা শুনতে ইচ্ছে করলো বলে আমি আজকে কথা শুনলাম, খুব ভালো লাগলো। পরাবিদ্যা অপরাবিদ্যা নিয়ে আমার অনেক দিনের প্রশ্ন ছিল, আপনাকে আজকে শুনলে আমার মানে ক্লিয়ার হলো বলতে পারি আর কি জিনিস। আপনাকে জানানোর জন্য অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আপনি সবসময় আমাকে জানান, কিন্তু আমি সবসময় পাই না। এরকম রাত হয়ে গেলে অনেক সময় ঘুমিয়ে পড়ি। এখন আমাদের এখানে বাজে 3টে। আমি কালকেই হসপিটাল থেকে ফিরেছি, 2 দিন অজ্ঞান হয়েছিলাম হসপিটালে, কালকে এসছি ফিরে, এখন ভালো আছি। আপনার সাথে কথা হবে।
Hello.
Tell me.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Audible.
Where are you from?
Am I audible?
Yes, very clearly audible.
Pranam Maharaj. My name is Ajita Mukherjee. Hello.
Tell me, continue.
My name is Ajita Mukherjee. I have a very small question to you. That is regarding Paravidya. Actually, in Advaita Vedanta, it is said that knowledge of Brahman is to be realized by Shabdagyana, that is, thou art that, but Tattvam asi. Now, I want to know this Shabdagyana, it is also, it is a pramana, that is pramana, Shabdagyana is a pramana, but by this pramana, how do we realize Brahman? That is, I think that it is a realization is by intuitive knowledge, that is Sakshat Jnana. And I want to know, is there any difference between the Shabda Jnana and Sakshat Jnana? Is there any time gap, temporal gap? That is my question.
Okay, thank you. Yes. You said Shabda Jnana, Shastra Jnana. What did you say?
Sakshat Jnana, that is direct knowledge.
No, different. Direct knowledge from the knowledge that came.
Shabda Jnana and Sakshat Jnana. Is there any temporal difference? I want to know.
Yes, that's a very good question. Yes. See, when I'm not studying history, geography, chemistry, grammar, etc., I am really studying the Brahma Vidya. I'm studying Gita, for instance. The Gita I'm studying. So, is it not Paravidya? If you ask me, strictly, technically, you are studying the subject of Paravidya, but that is not Paravidya. Unless the realization of God that is experienced, that is not Paravidya. Now, if there is any gap between these two, because both refer to the same subject of Brahman or Atman or Bhagavan, whatever path of knowledge that we use, then there is a temporary distance So here knowledge of God, about God does not make you a godly person.
अच्छा थैंक यू
By Vedas. Thank you.
हाँ
Anyone else?
थैंक यू महाराज हाँ थैंक यू
Yes, Gargi.
I don't have any question. I just want to say my Shashtango pranam to you. And one more thing, so nicely you have explained Paravidya and Aparavidya. I learned a lot today. So
If I
so
ask,
nice.
if I ask you which one you will choose, living to learn or learn to live, tell me.
Pardon, Maharaj?
If I ask you a question, will you answer that? I'm only
Okay, I will try.
I'm putting a question to you. Now, after hearing this 40 minutes lecture, what you will do? Will you live to learn or you will be learning to live?
Both the things you have taught us that we have to bridge between Paravidya and Aparavidya.
Very
So
good.
learn to live and live to learn. Both the things we need. And as I have learned today and previous by knowledge that Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that both the things necessary.
Thank you. Anybody else? Modak? Because in your screen you may see. I am unable to see here.
Today, is there any more question or anybody wants to tell anything? Just 2-3 minutes. Professor Dasgupta is here.
Okay.
Yes,
Where is
sir.
he? I'm not seeing his face.
Professor Dasgupta, Monotosh Dasgupta, our senior professor.
Maharaj,
Namaskar. Bolun.
my pranam to you.
Bolun.
My pranam to you. I want to add a very humble submission about this Para and Apara.
Bolun.
This Rishi of Mundak Upanishad, he has said, Dve Vidya Veditabde Parachoi Baparachoi. Both the Vidyas are to be acquired.
Yes.
Now, Apara Vidya, he has also elucidated what is Apara Vidya, Nirukta Jyotish, Bakaran, so on and so forth. These Vidyas that are laid down in scriptures that teaches us to or creates an urge in us to acquire that Apara Vidya. I want to cite a simple example. When one reads Shankaracharya's Mohamudgaram, he learns Orome Brahmani Yojito Chitya. Nandati, Nandati, Nandati Yava. That is, he has this idea. But when an urge of Apara Vidya is created in him, he then longs for that Brahma and realizes that unless and until Brahma gives him the scope to have that Apara Vidya, he won't have that knowledge or that Brahma. He won't get the vicinity of Brahma. That is why he now worships the very words in a separate form. That is, our Rabindranath Thakur in his Gitanjali has said, Chorano Padme Momochito Nishpandito Korohe, Nondito Koro, Nondito Koro, Nondito Korohe. Just the literal translation of Mohamudgaram. That is, in Mohamudgaram, one have the Apara Vidya, and through this Upasana, Nondito Koro, that is, he acquires the Apara Vidya and tries to reach that Brahma on how have that knowledge of Brahma. And this, I think, this Para and Apara Vidya has been laid in Ishopanishad in a slight different way. if memory does not deceive me, in 11th verse of Ishopanishad, it is said, Vidyaya avidyaya mrityum tittva vidyaya amritamasnute. That is avidya. It is something similar to apara vidya, and vidya there is something, I think, similar to paravidya.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Dashgupta. You have contributed very nice to this discussion. That earlier you said that aparavidya is only a step below the paravidya. Or it's not taking us a step. It can lead to paravidya. So this is very well understood. That's why I'm telling Swamiji wanted this technology also as well as our Indian spirituality also. These two must be combined together. That is our modern way of our living. That is how it will resolve the problem. So there is no that hierarchy, content differentiation will not be there. The bridge has to be done. Thank you. And Shukla.
Shukla Chakraborty, madam.
Shukla Chakraborty, madam.
Namaskar, Swami. Pranam Devi. I have a small, I shouldn't say the question, but I want a clarification. Now, if Paravidya and Aparavidya, these, and as per Vedanta education, I am audible? Am I audible?
Yes, now audible, but just before that it was not audible.
Okay. Now, as per our Vedanta education, we know Atma and it suffers from avidya, and when because there is maya, and when a maya is gone, avidya is vanished, and vidya comes. Now my question is, this vidya, which is the absence of avidya, this vidya, if it can be divided into paravidya and avidya, paravidya, if this is the case, then can we say in this way? I don't know that the vidya, because God is one unitary, also vidya is one unitary. And this vidya, if it is seen from the side of Jivatma, then it is apara. If it is seen from the side of Paramatma, it is vidya. So the difference is, it may be, it can be said, the difference is from perspective. From which perspective we are seeing it? Because it is one and unitary. So can we say in this way?
That's a very nice question also. Yes, you have contributed also very beautifully for discussion because, yes, see, you say this para and apara. In the beginning what I said, para and apara, this vidya can be classified according to hierarchy. One. Second, according to the content. Now you have brought a third element into that from the perception. That's a very beautiful contribution of you, I should say, for this idea world. Because that from the perception also, the vidya can be classified as para and apara. Individually, you perceive that you are God and you are the divine. As Swami again and again says, each soul is potentially divine. In that divinity, if you realize, then from your point of view, this is paravidya. And if that is not realized, then from the point of view of the world, that is aparavidya. Yes, that also can be said. There is no problem in that. All types of the interpretations can be go on in multiplying according to your one's own. As Mr. Dasgupta told, Professor Dasgupta told about that Isha Upanishad, he brought the word vidya, avidya there. But here, we are speaking about vidya, not avidya. That is slight difference is there. But then I will take up later some other time.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Acha. M. Basu, want to say something?
Pranam Swamiji, it was a very nice learning for us today, I felt, and also where very much the interesting discussion was also very nice to know. Just you started with Sri Ramakrishna, so I just thought of one of his stories and parables that he was fond of saying, and maybe to match to your title of the talk today, that he says that yes, there's a magician and his magic. So if I look at the magic as this world of Aparavidya, and to know the magician, the Paravidya, the final. So as Jumadi asked also, that by knowing what, that we will be satisfied, that no more, like we will get that Paramananda Prapti, or no more dissatisfaction, that we have learned it. So maybe in Thakur's words, that the aim is to know the magician after we are charmed with all the magics of this world.
Okay, thank you. That's for a nice example of Thakur's. In Thakur's Kathamrita, you find hundreds of examples are there. All examples we cannot bring it now, but this is a very beautiful example that she quoted. Yes, we are interested in magician. That means I am interested in Paravidya. If I am interested in the magics, then I am interested in Aparavidya. Yes.
Okay. Our
Another,
time is
just
not.
one. Professor Basu, you want to tell anything? Professor Durga Basu?
Now, first of all, my Shastrodhu Pranam to Maharaj.
Namaskar.
Namaskar Maharaj. You have explained wonderfully the two things, that is Apara Vidya and Para Vidya. Now you have just told us that the realization of Brahman is the Para Vidya. So to us, the disciple of the Thakur Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Shima and Swamiji, to us the Thakur Sri Ramakrishna is our Param Brahma. So do you think that through bhakti or through worship of Thakur Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Shima, we can acquire that knowledge, that part of the realization, we can have that realization of Param Brahma?
That's a very beautiful question. Thank you, Durga Di. One question. Yes, as a follower of Ramakrishna or any deity, as in the Bhakti Yoga, definitely that having darshan of your Ishta Devata is Paravidya. There is nothing less than that. See, the word it should be realized. What it says, Yaya Aksharam Adhikamyate. See, Ramakrishna is Aksharam for us. So he is not a thing that is going to be destroyed. So indestructible, what it remains, that is Aksharam. So definitely that is Paravidya. Actually, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Pranam Nebin. Thank you.
Okay.
It is 12:30.
Now it is.
Yes, we feel we should
12:30.
wind up. Yes.
So, thank you, Maharaj Ji, Pranam, for your blissful contribution. We are really blessed enough inside of Modak Academy. You are here. So, would you like to say something?
Namaste. Yes, Thakur Ma, bless you tomake. পড়াশোনা করবি অপরা বিদ্যাটা ভালো করে আয়ত্ত করবি
ঠিক আছে
Okay, so we can complete now. Thank you very much, all of you, all the participants. Thank you very much.
So let me close